Welcome ghosts back to Bullet Catcher Gaming. Now you may have seen the news that has popped up everywhere. There's nothing official, I believe, from Ubisoft, but the news is that Ghost Recon Frontline has been shelved completely cancelled, and they will not be continuing development on this game. Now what I want to look at is this a good thing for Ghost Recon, or is this a bad thing? Now first let's look at Frontline. When it was obviously revealed, it didn't go down too well with the community. They weren't impressed. And you can understand why. It felt like, once again, and don't forget, Motherland had just been revealed, and that went down extremely well with people. So then when they revealed Frontline, it kind of felt like they weren't listening again, which is kind of how we felt a lot when Breakpoint first came out. They hadn't listened. Now, obviously, Breakpoint did get a lot of updates, and that game, to be honest, had it have been released as it was at the end at the beginning, and then had more updates added to it, I think Breakpoint would be looked at as a very different game right now. I think it would be looked at as a great game. Now, I think Breakpoint is a very, very good game. I love Breakpoint. But obviously, we know it had issues, and there are still issues with the game, even though now it's finished. So, when we look at Frontline, the fact that they didn't necessarily listen, they kind of put in, obviously, a Battle Royale format that was kind of out of date, and a format that, to be honest, others already have that down, and to introduce a new one, it wasn't going to work. Ubisoft had tried already, and it hadn't worked. So why did they do that? Yes, it had been in development for a few years already, but let's look at the bad overall. So what does this mean for Ghost Recon and the franchise with this being cancelled? Now, looking at the bad, you could turn around and say perhaps they cancel Frontline because they're like, look, Breakpoint didn't go down that well. This hasn't gone down well. We're spending a lot of money, time and effort on this franchise that's just not making us any money. So let's not bother with it anymore. Now, obviously, we can clap back with that and say, well, hang on a minute. If you gave us what we want, we'd be happy to spend a lot of money on it. And when it comes down to it, no matter what product you're putting out in the world, you need to make sure that your customer base is the one that's happy, because what's the point otherwise? So I think that could be one of the bads. They might be looking at this thinking, no, let's not bother. But it was their errors, let's be honest. We're ready, as I said, to push cash into this franchise and support this franchise if done right. But Frontline, I don't think was ever going to succeed. Free to play, yes, I can understand why you would do a free to play PvP, but it was done all wrong. Breakpoint's PvP was basically not supported after about the first 4 or 5 months, and then it was just left as a kind of bug-ridden mess, which is a shame. People want a proper PvP experience in that third-person mode. Obviously, Frontline wasn't going to give us this, and perhaps the amount of money it was going to take to go and change this, it just wasn't worth the bother. But going forward, it could be bad news. They might think Ghost Recon's not worth bothering with. It's just not worth it for them. And I think if they were to bin Ghost Recon based off of this, I think it would be so disappointing, because it's like, look, give us what you want. We will follow it. We will support it. Now, let's look at the good thing that could come from this. Now, we know Project Over is almost guaranteed to be real. They are most definitely working on a new Ghost Recon mainstream title that will follow up from Breakpoint. Obviously, we don't know when it will be set or anything like that, but it's going to happen. I would say it's probably already been in development. Well, according to sources, it's been in development for about 18 months already, which makes sense. So they might be thinking, why are we wasting our time with this when people don't want it? when we could just put a decent PvP into the main game, keep all of the players, don't separate them, keep them all in one game where they'll spend in one game, things that can be purchased in that. In one mode, PvE can be introduced into PvP, etc. Keep them all together. That makes more sense to me. And saying, we could use assets from this, we could use developers from this, push everything they've got into the new game, concentrate on that, follow the community charter regards to what we want, listen to the community and say, yes, these are the things, this is the type of game that they want. And I've seen people say they'd like first person. I always say give people both options. Lots of games do. There's no reason why they can't. You would cater for everybody then if you did third and first person views. That's the way it's got to be in my eyes. But overall, a lot of people now who are Ghost Recon fans have been introduced to the franchise through Wildlands and Breakpoint, and they want to continue down that third person mode. Frontline wasn't that. So, yes, I think push that game aside. The community didn't really want it. I don't think it would have done well. I think it would have flopped hard. And after a lot of people would have given it a go at the beginning, and then after a month or so, it would have been dead. Too many other games already do it better than that. So, I think that's the good news. I think the good news is that the end of Frontline could actually be the makings of the Ghost Recon franchise, pushing everything, utilising everything they've got into the new PvE title, which hopefully will have PvP attached. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Discord link is in the description below. Look forward to reading what you think regards to this, because obviously we all remember the night that the trailer came out. I've not seen so much hate for the Ghost Recon franchise when Frontline was announced. It was quite overwhelming just how non-responsive people were to that game, and I don't blame people at all for that. Let us know. Be really interested to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Do appreciate it. Take care, and we'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.